Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, man, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders and the ways in which that the Dallas Cowboys can try and win this game. Do I think that the Dallas Cowboys can win this game? I think it's very winnable, but the way we've been playing football this entire month and the back half of last month in October, it looks very slim to none the Dallas Cowboys will win, and especially looking at this injury report, it's going to be even tougher for us to win this game. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Going over the injury report really for the Washington Commanders, the only player that's going to be out is their newly acquired player that they acquired at the trade deadline, and that was Marshawn Lattimore. He's going to be out. He hasn't played football for them, I want to say, ever since they traded for him. He hasn't played any football. Obviously, they're hoping that he can come back and he can play sometime soon in the coming up games, because they're definitely going to need him while they try to make their run to the playoffs. But for the Dallas Cowboys, same old, same old. Everyone's getting injured. Not on purpose or anything like that, of course. But, Brandon Cooks, he's going to be out. I know they activated his 21-day activation window. He's not going to be playing this week. Zach Martin, he suffered his injury on Monday, had an ankle. He didn't practice at all in practice. He's going to be out. Trayvon Diggs is not going to be playing as well with a groin injury. Jake Ferguson's out because of a concussion. He's probably not going to play on Thanksgiving as well. Marquise Bell, he's going to have shoulder repair surgery. Prayers up to him. Prayerfully that goes well. But he's not going to be playing. Marshall Nealon is listed as questionable. So is Chuma Udoga. Nick Vigil is questionable. Tyler Smith is questionable as well. Hunter Lepke has been a full participation in practice. Full participation in practice for Jordan Lewis, so we're probably going to get him back. Same goes for DaRon Bland. He's been a full participation in practice. But again, that's not something I'm going to put fully stock in, because he was a full participation lead up to that Detroit Lions game. Then he had a setback, and then he hasn't been able to play football ever since then. So it looks like he's probably going to make his season debut against the Washington Commanders, which will be pretty good for our defense, because that will give us, the secondary, help out that secondary a lot. And then, with Jordan Lewis, DaRon Bland, and then your other outside corner is probably going to be Josh Butler again, or a mix between him and Israel Mukuamu. So we're going to see what's going to happen on that end of the spectrum. But the number one way in which that we can beat the Washington Commanders is, of course, you got to stop the run. The only way we're really going to lose these football games, it's not even going to be a contest, is if they give the Bunsen, they give it to Austin Eckler, and they run for 200-plus yards and 3 touchdowns combined, and then you add in Jaden Daniels rushing the ball as well, then that's going to be a very long day for the Dallas Cowboys. Leading that to my second point, the Jaden Daniels, we got to contain him, man. Jaden Daniels has been dealing with a rib injury, and he has been, slowing down a little bit. He had caught the league on fire really from all of October, the back end of September, been playing a little bit decent football in November, but he's been slowing down the past couple of weeks against the, Pittsburgh Steelers, and then against the Philadelphia Eagles that they played on Thursday night, 2 weeks ago almost. So, they've had 10, 11 days to rest up and prepare against the Dallas Cowboys. So, of course, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a little bit healthy. But again, if the Dallas Cowboys can try and contain him, and I think they can, they're going to have Overshown blitzing him. They're going to have Michael Parsons. You might have Nealon playing. Hopefully Nealon is able to play, because he's another young guy that I want to see play a lot, because we know this season is a lost cause. And, if Washington beats us, that helps us in our goal of tanking. And I know, we can organically take because of how bad of our football team is, and the higher in which we go upon this draft order, the better player that we can get. Hopefully we can get a guy like, Travis Hunter. But for us to get a guy like Travis Hunter, I don't think we can afford to win another football game, and I don't really see us winning another football game. But I'll talk about all that later. But again, you got to contain Jaden Daniels from escaping the pocket and making plays. I think if you're able to contain him in the pocket, force him to make throws, we're going to be fine. Again, I was talking about Overshown blitzing, Michael Parsons getting to the passer. But for us to do that, we have to attack their left tackle in pass rush situations. Their offensive line is decent. It has been playing pretty decently pretty decent football for them. But when they played stout defensive lines, whether it was Pittsburgh or was the Baltimore Ravens, some of those guys were able to get home on Jane Daniels and make his life just a little bit tougher. I think if we're able to do that, we're going to be fine. Again, in passing situations, if we ever do get them to pass the ball, we have to contain Terry McLaurin. They're very similar to Dallas in a way in which is Terry or bust, right? Mainly in their offense. Yeah, Zach Ertz can beat you, but Zach Ertz isn't what he used to be in Philly. So he isn't going to be a guy that burns you for 10 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That isn't Zach Ertz anymore. Noah Brown. We know what Noah Brown is. He's a very decent wide receiver. He can come in if one of your wide receivers is hurt for a couple games, but that's not somebody that you can fully rely on. They got De'Ami Brown. They got a couple other guys. They got Austin Eckler, which I'm going to talk about. Again, leads into my next point. When we do hold things up in the passing game, and right when we're doing what we're supposed to do in the secondary, guarding Terry McLaurin, having a safety on top, we're probably going to be playing a lot of too high, which we normally been doing anyway. But obviously, we have been sacking the box as well. But I'm saying that in passing situations, we do tend to play a lot of too high. So I think that in passing situations, we have to watch out for Austin Eckler. When he's leaking out of the backfield on the pass, it's going to be tough for our linebackers. We've been seeing some of our linebackers in coverage. When Overshown's in coverage, he's doing pretty decently well. It's when they put Kendricks in coverage for some of the athletic running backs, or they do motions because we're in that double mug look. We're having 2 linebackers over A-gap, and, the one simple motion, those linebackers will bail out, and, they'll try to get Eric Kendricks on one-on-one coverage. We got to watch out for that as well. Eckler can be an impact in the passing game, and that's definitely somebody that when Jaden Daniels is in trouble, he needs somebody to dump it off. They'll dump it off to Austin Eckler, and he'll try to make a play. Offensively, there isn't really too much to really talk about because we're that stagnant. Our scheme is horrendous, and we've been talking about that almost all this year, just slants, hitches, curls, stops, goes. We don't really run a whole lot of motion. We don't run a whole lot of we don't run the ball a lot. We don't run the ball at all. I think our best rushing performance was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that feels like ages ago since we played them. But really, it was just last month, and really, that's the last time we've been able to run the ball effectively. Again, offensively, let's try and run the ball. But I stated right here in my notes, I feel like I understand Mike McCarthy. He likes to get away from the run early. But again, it's a consideration to try and run the ball. Washington is the same stories and the same problems that was going on with us for the Dallas Cowboys goes on with Washington as well as in terms of stopping the run. When they're playing run heavy and run dominant football teams, it's tough for them to stop the run as well. And really, let's try and run the ball. If we don't, I'm not surprised. I'm not going to get too upset about it because I already know who we are as a football team. But since I know that we're going to throw the ball 40, 50 times, again, that feeds right into the tank. That does exactly what we need to do. We'll easily lose this football game. And if Dante Fowler, Armstrong, Jazir Newton, Jonathan, not Jonathan, but Deron Payne, once they have those guys, pass rushing is going to be over. And then you're probably not going to have either your interior guards with Martin or Tyler Smith play. Then you're probably going to have Guyton play. And if Guyton does play, hopefully he does do a pretty good job, but we're going to find out. But again, since I know we're going to throw the ball 40, 50 times, let's spread the ball around. Let's see what Jonathan Mingo is going to be. Understanding and knowing that I know that we cannot get a really good look of what Jonathan Mingo is going to be because of Cooper Rush, but we really need to see what he's going to be because we gave up a 4th-round pick. And again, the 4th-round pick, we're going to be so bad this year. That 4th-round pick is potentially going to be a 3rd-round compensatory pick type of pick anyway. And the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to be looking at that. When April comes around, April will be right around the corner for the Dallas Cowboy fans. It'll be right around the corner for us, and we're going to be watching the draft. We're all going to be watching the draft. I'm going to be live streaming it, and we're going to see, that compensatory 3rd round. We're going to be watching the entirety of the 4th on day 3. Everyone's going to be checking their phones. Probably somebody's going to be at the draft watching it, checking on their phone, whatever, right? That we're going to be watching that entire 4th round like how we did last year. When running backs were going off the board and Braylon Allen, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Wright, when Ray Davis that went to the Buffalo Bills out of Kentucky. Like, it was so many different running backs that the Dallas Cowboys needed last year that we're like, man, I would have definitely have given up Trey Lance to have one of these running backs. But now it's going to be the same thing for Jonathan Mingo. You know, what's that fourth round going to look like? Is it going to be a run on running backs again? Is it going to be a round where you could have got you a solid tight end to back up Ferguson? That's things that we're going to be talking about, right? But give Mingo his shot, because why not? You have nothing to lose. You might not even have CeeDee Lamb to play, so you're probably going to need to lean on Mingo. Throw the ball to Tolbert. Let's see what he's got. Again, he has been showing a whole lot this year. You know, outside of that Pittsburgh game. Again, outside of that, what else has he really done, right? Beverin span 4. You know, we're gonna throw the tight ends. We threw to the tight ends a lot last week on Monday night. So throw the span 4, throw the Schoonmaker. Last but not least, talk about it all the time, but we're just a heavy penalized team. I always say limit to penalties, but I know it's gonna be a highly penalized team, especially from special teams and offense, whether it's pre-snap penalties, whether it's false starts, whether it's whatever the case might be. We're going to look like a crap show on offense. But again, just to wrap it all up and to review again, number one thing, got to stop the run. 2, contain Jane Daniels from escaping the pocket and making plays. That's where he's most dangerous. Attack their left tackle in pass rush situations. In passing situations, contain Terry McLaurin. They're very similar to Dallas in a way that it's Terry and nobody else. We got to watch out for Austin Eckler when he's coming out of the backfield. You know, got to watch out for Brian Robinson in the run game. Things like that. Offensively, try to run the ball, but I understand Mike McCarthy and his tendencies. He doesn't like to run the ball a whole lot. He talks about, we need to run the ball more, but he's calling the plays offensively, so he sounds a little bit hypocritical on that end. And then again, you got to spread the ball around to Jonathan Mingo, Tolbert, Span, Ford, Schoonmaker, some of your offensive playmakers. And then last but not least, limit the penalties. That's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.